In this video, we shall talk about what is the astral plane and what will it be like to be standing in the astral plane now. Hi, this is Harold and welcome to The Sanctum. This is the first video in a sub-series on the subtle planes of reality. If you're new here, please remember to support this channel by clicking the subscribe button and the bell icon. I've made a video in the past on the different planes of reality, but we've touched upon them very briefly. In this sub-series, we shall be exploring these planes in much more detail. This first video will be on the astral plane. Now, the many different traditions from all over the world talk about different planes of reality in various different ways. But all traditions speak about different planes or different worlds of being. And the one that we are most familiar with is that of the physical world or the physical realm or the physical plane, which we are right now. This is where our body exists, where we experience this phenomena called life through a body which is just a vessel which we use to navigate through existence. But beyond this physical plane, there are non-physical planes of existence. So one thing to keep in mind is that the basic building blocks of the physical and the non-physical realms is that of energy. The various planes of reality are nothing but different configurations of energy. For example, energy is resonating and vibrating at the lowest frequency, its densest form, in the physical plane. And everything in the physical plane exists in the form of either solids, liquids, gases, or plasma. Whereas what we call the astral plane is energy, but resonating at a higher frequency, so that the energy and the realm is much more subtle in nature. It's less dense in nature. Now, there are many planes of reality, but we shall be looking into these other planes of reality in the other videos in this sub-series. So to understand the nature of the astral plane, it is important for us to use the physical plane as an example, as this is the plane that we are most familiar with. So one thing to keep in mind is in the physical plane, energy is limited to the speed of light. We've not discovered anything in the physical realm that resonates at a higher frequency than that of light that we can detect. Whereas in the astral plane, energy moves and resonates beyond the speed of light, but it still has its limits. In the physical realm, due to the density of energy, objects appear solid, whereas in the astral plane, energy is much more subtle. Therefore, the reality and the things in reality are much more fluid in nature. Space maintains a constant structure in the physical plane, whereas in the astral plane, space changes and has no consistency. In fact, it is even irrelevant. This is the reason why pranic healers, energetic healers, or even Reiki masters can heal at a distance, as the healing is done on a more subtle plane. And of course, in the physical, we have gravity. We experience gravity, whilst in the astral, there is no gravity. And now time, the great illusion, is something that we seem to experience in the physical realm, which brings about events in our lives. Events are brought about by time in the physical plane, whereas in the astral, there's no such thing as time. Events are not brought about by time. Instead, events are ordered by emotional content. Now, let me explain what I mean by this. Now, let's say that you were able to tap into and go for a walk in the astral plane. And of course, everyone can do this, and everyone can learn how to. It's known as astral projection. And I shall be making a video on that later. Now, say you were standing in the astral plane in your room. In the astral, it would look very similar to your normal room, except the walls and the objects in your room are no longer as solid as they are in the physical plane, and you can very easily walk through or pass through the walls and the objects in your room. Your room may keep changing size, perhaps suddenly becomes very small and then suddenly it stretches out and becomes very big and elongated. And you may walk out into your living room and you may see your great-grandmother's rocking chair out there, although the chair was gone decades ago. Then suddenly, for no reason, that chair might be transformed into your laptop. Then suddenly the room might dissolve and you might find yourself relaxing on a beach. Now this is what I mean by events are ordered by emotional content in the astral plane. Your great-grandmother at some point may have felt about her chair the same way as you feel about your laptop. And this same feeling in both of you would be linked to that of a beach. And this would spark the relaxing feeling of being on a beach. Do you see why the scene changed into that of a beach? I know it can seem very confusing. That is the nature of these sciences. When we start to look more and more into the higher planes, it becomes more and more incomprehensible because it's so different and far out there compared to what we are used to experiencing here in the physical. But in either case, our minds are like radios, and our minds tune into specific frequencies. Just like if we were to have a radio and we were to tune into a specific radio channel, as soon as we hit the appropriate frequency, we would gain a connection. The radio would be connected to the radio station and we shall receive the music which will be played through our radio. In the same way, our minds are radios which are tuning into the frequency of that of our brain. Our brain emits certain waves, certain frequencies, and as soon as the mind taps onto that frequency, we gain control of the brain, and through the brain we control the body, and then we can explore this reality and interact with this reality, the physical plane, through our five senses and through our body. But there are many ways in which we can learn to take control of the dial on that radio and begin to change our frequency, change our vibration, so that we can experience these subtle planes of being. And there's so much to learn and so much to explore within these other planes of reality that are perfectly safe and actually very transformative and very beneficial to you and for those who can tap into them. So please stay tuned and click the subscribe button and the bell icon to support this channel. Please comment down below if you have any questions. Thank you for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and share it with all your friends. Take care. I shall see you very soon. Peace.